All right, so hi, thank you for meeting with us today. We are with Empower UP, just going around talking on campus and just learning more about what we can do as a community for high schoolers coming through. I'm Easton.
I'm Brian.
And can you just kind of explain who you are, what your name is, and what you do here?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Kat Hansen. I work in the Michigan Tech Financial Aid Office. I'm a financial aid manager, and I mainly coordinate the Working Family Scholarship here. So I do a lot of work with kind of working families, students, and lower income students, and just making sure that they have all the tools that they need to kind of succeed at Michigan Tech.
Awesome, awesome. And so to start off with, one of our first questions is, what would you say are impacts of students receiving or getting scholarships?
Yeah, so there are huge impacts for students, receiving scholarships. I think that's the main drive, I guess, of why students choose a school. Well, some of them, not all of them. But I feel like especially for local students, UP students, that's a really big reason why they might choose Michigan Tech. I think that, I don't know, what did you guys do with your scholarships?
Basically just be able to save
Use
money.
it for,
I guess.
Pay for school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, main reason students, receive scholarships is to help them afford school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, without them, most students wouldn't be able to afford going to school.
Right.
I got a question. Where should incoming and present college students go to apply for scholarships?
So the first thing that any incoming student is going to want to do is fill out the FAFSA, which is the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. That opens in December of this year. They're completely changing it, the federal government is, this upcoming school year. So that's going to be released a little bit later than normal, but that is going to tell the school what scholarships or other need-based aid a student might be eligible for. So there's plenty of different types of aid. There's scholarships, there's grants, and then there's loans. And scholarships and grants are typically some of the need-based aid, and we get that information from your FAFSA. Aside from that, I definitely recommend talking to your high school guidance counselors. They will have, the most up-to-date information on local scholarships that students could be eligible for, as well as any state scholarships or any other funding that way. Otherwise, definitely check out Michigan Tech's scholarship website, so mtu.edu/FinAid, and then there's a little drop down that you can find scholarships on. So we have a ton of different scholarships listed. Some of them you're automatically considered for when you apply, and some of them you have to apply for separately.
Yeah, and kind of with that, are there any activities or things to get involved with that maybe give you more opportunity for other scholarships?
Like in high school?
Yeah, I mean high school or even in college,
yeah. So definitely a lot of our sponsored scholarships, so that's scholarships that are funded by, sometimes it's alumni, sometimes it's just people outside of the university. A lot of them require separate applications. So to give yourself kind of a leg up in that scholarship application process, you should get involved in things outside of just going to class. In high school, I always recommend National Honor Society, if you're able to. Other than that, volunteering is a really good option, both, in school or out of school, just in the community. There's so many different ways to volunteer. And then once you're in college, get involved in different clubs and groups and organizations. Really anything to kind of boost your resume is always good. It's what scholarship committees look for.
Awesome.
Okay. Any tips for the local high school students applying for FAFSA, just in general? I know you were talking about how it completely changed over. I don't know if you have any new tips, this new reformation of the FAFSA?
Yeah, so again, the FAFSA does open in December of this year, so it's going to be a little bit later. You don't have as much time to fill it out. So definitely try and get that in as soon as you can, so you can get financial aid packages from whatever school you're applying to early, so you can have time to compare those. I think some really good tips for sitting down and applying for the FAFSA take your time. It is quite the process. They have pared it down quite a bit this year, from I think either 50 to 80 questions, I'm not sure which one it was, to about 30 some questions this year. So be prepared to have your parents' tax information, have your tax information, all of that fun stuff, and then know that your parents do have to be there to fill it out with you, and they have to sign it themselves.
Yeah, kind of glad as a college student I don't want to go through that whole process again. I'm glad it's getting shorter now.
Yeah, I know, it's nice.
Is there anything that Michigan Tech does to kind of help out with that process?
Yeah, so if you're, applying as a high school student, or even if you're already in college and you need help with the FAFSA, you could always reach out to Michigan Tech's financial aid office. We're always willing to point you in the right direction and help if we can. Sometimes, things are out of our control and it's something that you need to reach out to the FAFSA help desk for, but they are also very willing to help. But yeah, any questions, definitely reach out to your school's financial aid office first.
Awesome. And I guess to kind of wrap it up here, is there any advice maybe you'd give to incoming either high school students or current college students just regarding scholarships or even FASFA?
Apply for anything and everything that you can, even if you're not sure if you're going to get it, even if you're not sure if you're going to be eligible for it completely, apply to the scholarships. A little piece of advice, or I guess a little secret that I'll let you in on, some of our scholarships don't get enough applicants, so that's just money that's like literally going to waste when it could be going to a student and helping them afford school. So even if you're not sure if you're going to make it, just apply for it.
So Kat, what are the most commonly applied for or granted scholarships at Michigan Tech?
So one of our biggest scholarships that we have is called the Working Family Scholarship, and that is $11,000 per year, so a total of 4 years if you're coming in as a first-year student. It's a separate application that we require. The application is going to open sometime this winter, and the deadline is either going to be in March or April.
Okay.
And it's going to require an essay, a letter of recommendation, obviously transcripts, but it's for lower income students, and at least one parent has to be working and you have to be a Michigan resident to receive this scholarship. But again, $11,000 is a huge scholarship per year, and so I definitely recommend checking that out and applying for it if you're eligible.
How many students are eligible to get this scholarship?
So for next year, it's going to be 145 students will receive this scholarship, I believe. So we have a certain number for we have a certain number for incoming first-year students. We have a certain number for second-year students, so students who completed their first year at Michigan Tech, and then a certain number for transfer students coming in with at least 60 credits.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Thank you so much.
And
Hope this
Yeah.
helps.
yeah, thank you.
Definitely will.